This is my quick review of a Jetstar flight from Melbourne to Singapore in Jetstar business class. Pretty easy check-in at Melbourne Airport. There was a slight delay because there was a problem with the baggage system. Absolutely nothing to do with Jetstar. It was a Melbourne Airport issue, and the Jetstar staff were quite friendly during the delay. So let me get right to the chase. Overall, this was a pretty good flight. The fare was slightly over 1,000 Australian dollars for a 8-hour flight on a low-cost carrier. And I've got to say, well worth the money and a great flight, great service. Overall, good job by Jetstar. So heading now to the Qantas First Lounge. You can access this lounge if you have Emerald status with oneworld, and of course that includes Qantas Platinum Frequent Flyers and Platinum One Flyers also. This is a very nice lounge. I much prefer it to the Qantas Sydney First Lounge. This lounge is a lot smaller here in Melbourne, but it never feels so crowded. It's very, very comfortable, and it offers lovely airfield views. Of course, there is a very nice restaurant which serves up the Neil Perry menu, and it's always pleasant to sit down and eat here rather than eating on board. I have a fairly bad habit of trying a few different dishes whenever I come to a lounge like this, and that's what I did today. Good selection of items on the menu. If this is your first visit, I thoroughly recommend the salt and pepper squid. It's a little bit of a staple in the Qantas lounge. The club sandwich is also very, very good, and sometimes the meat dishes are excellent too, although they can be a little bit heavy before a long flight. There's a good selection of drinks available as well, wines and cocktails, as you prefer. I went for an orange juice, which I have to say wasn't the best. It was out of a bottle and clearly lacked that fresh orange juice taste. Here's the calamari, always delicious. I went for Neil's signature burger, which was pretty nice as well, and this braised lamb, which I have to say was good, but a little heavy. The mango daiquiri was a great way to finish the meal. Of course, hot chips are also a great way to finish your meal. You're looking here at a Qantas Dreamliner preparing to depart for Dallas. That's a long, long flight. There's something lovely watching a plane pushing back, taxiing out to the runway, and then climbing into the sky. I finished my meal with a coffee, a pavlova, and this affogato. And at this point, I've got to be honest and say I was pretty full. Certainly I didn't want to eat anything on board, but I was feeling prepped for my flight up to Singapore. Boarding was a little bit of a zoo, but that's okay. Soon enough, I was walking down the jetway and paused to take a look at the beautiful machine that was going to carry me to another part of the world. This is a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. It's a really nice looking plane, I have to say. Something about the nose, it just looks like a sort of a classic 1950s design. I really like the look of this plane. On board, there was the economy cabin to the right, and the seating was 333. That's 9 abreast. A few more economy seats to the left, but at the front of the plane, there was the business class cabin with seating in a 232 configuration. Now, these aren't lie-flat business class seats. They tend to be like the old domestic business class seats that you find on most airlines. They don't recline that far, but they're perfectly comfortable and perfectly adequate for a day flight. Snacks were provided on arrival. There was a pillow, a blanket, and a small amenity kit, and the amenity kit contained a few useful items. Not particularly necessary, but a nice little add-on. The headphones weren't great. They're the same headphones that you get in Qantas International Business Class and First Class. I think that says more about the quality of the Qantas product than the Jetstar product. Nice selection of meals that are available. You can dine from the business class menu, but if there's something you want from the economy cabin, don't hesitate to ask. And speaking of asking, I have to say the staff on this flight were absolutely fantastic. They were friendly, they were attentive, they were chatty, they provided good service. Full marks to the Jetstar crew. I just wish the Qantas International staff in business and first class were as good. Lights were dimmed for most of the flight. I'm not really sure why they did that on a day flight. Maybe some people wanted to rest. Onboard entertainment system is pretty good. It's included free in Jetstar Business, but you need to pay if you want this service in economy. So overall, this was a fantastic flight. It was not expensive, the service was great, it was on time and very, very comfortable for a daytime flight. Full marks to Jetstar. I would happily fly their business class product again for a day flight. I had a light snack as we were getting close to Singapore, but what I was really looking forward to was a hawker centre that night, and I went for a sugarcane juice and bandung. Thanks for listening.